My name is Sophie Brunet. I live in Squamish, British Columbia, and I'm an artist. Squamish is a beautiful place to get inspiration from. The large rock faces, the mountains with snow caps, the mists, the forests, the trees. I draw inspiration from all of these things and put them on the canvas before me, creating a blank canvas as a real place that brings the magic, that brings life. I was born and raised in Montreal, where I was living in a thriving artist community. There were people around me all the time that were just so inspired by an idea that they had and creating it, making it alive. I worked with many professional painters as an artist, as a model, and I learned a lot from them about tricks and techniques, and they gave me lots of feedback. Boats have been always something that inspired me, how they float on the water like vessels on the surface. There's something about them that brings me into a different place. I've lived on sailboats in California, lived on a catamaran, and I'd wake up every morning, the ebb and the flow, the rising of the ocean, facing a different direction. So it was after I lived in this boating community that I began to paint, where the sky and the water met at the horizon. And sometimes it's a boat in the distance, perhaps abandoned, perhaps even sinking, that inspires the whole making of a painting. So the painting itself might be getting into the texture of the rocks in the background. In this case, it's the chief that Squamish is known for, where the rock climbers scale the surface. I started out with a cobalt background, and with my knife, I just carved the rock, carved the paint to give it that feeling, that sheen. Painting feels like magic to me, how it starts out with nothing, a blank canvas, and I've got perhaps photographs and sketches to work from, and it becomes real before me. There's a place that I go to when I paint. It's like another dimension. There's absolute stillness. There's no thought, no mind chatter, nothing happening in the world around me. All there is my image, the creaminess of the paint, the smooth texture of the brush. It's an interior world where all is still. I find it ironic that the places that I love to paint most, the places that capture my imagination, are derelict buildings and boats with the stain of rust, the feeling of oldness and age. And yet when I paint, there's timelessness. Beyond the image, I really love to enjoy the paint, the texture. I like to keep that painterly quality. I often paint on location, whether that's through traveling or places that are close to my home. One of the places that I draw inspiration from is Britannia Beach, which is an old mining town. And when the mining shut down, it became a ghost town, leaving many old buildings behind. What I love so much about this building is that it's almost like a portrait where the eyes are the window to the soul. This building has windows and doors that lead to another dimension, where you can see the horizon coming together with sky, where there's a world behind it, almost like looking through a movie screen. Sometimes sailboats pass by, and as the light changes, the shadows grow deeper. And as I'm painting, I can hear the water lapping against the posts that hold the building up. And as I paint it, there are old logs that fall away. And a bird comes to visit, There's a whole universe within this painting, within the moments. And it's those moments that I paint for, where there's nothing but a sense of oneness, like living on those boats, where I was one with the sky and I was one with the water falling and rising with the moon. I feel that I've been very guided within my artistic process. The right people have come at the right times. When I applied at Concordia University in Montreal, I had nothing in terms of a portfolio. But the person that I was applying with felt my passion and thought that I had the talent that it took, and invited me to live with him in his studio and paint for 9 days straight, and I did. And I got in. And those first few years in university were incredible for me to be able to be living my dream, painting every day. Taking nothing and making it into something. Feeling the essence, especially in terms of portraits, feeling an energy from the person before me, reading their body language, the way their eyes shift, and capturing this essence onto the canvas. I love to share my images with the world, and I hope that they bring peace as they bring that to me.